Hi everyone, my name is Muhammad. I'm gonna cover in this presentation how to predict various cancer early by using machine learning. The importance of classifying cancer patients into high or low risk groups has led many research teams from the biomedical and bioinformatic fields to study the application of machine learning methods. Therefore, these techniques have been utilized as an aim to model the progression and treatment of cancer conditions. Also, the ability of machine learning tools to detect key features from complex datasets reveals their importance. A variety of these techniques, including artificial neural networks, Bayesian networks, support vector machines, and decision trees, have been widely applied in cancer research for the development of predictive models to save patients early. One of the most interesting types of machine learning that used is artificial neural networks. It works like biological neural networks present in our brains. It has excellent tools to find relationship between input and output variables in the dataset. That complex for humans. Before talking about how neural networks can be used, we first need a dataset. What is the dataset? It contains a lot of information to analyze. The training dataset contains information about patients, genetics, demographics, nutrition, such intake of vitamins, along with information about which develop cancer. This is the data that we need to train neural network. With this data, we know which individuals did or did not have cancer. In this study, 75% of this data is used for training and around 25% to test how good network is operating. A neural network is composed of an input layer, one or more hidden layers, and an output layer. During the training stage of the neural network machine learning, we first feed the network our input variable at the input layer. In our example, age, body mass index, number of pregnancies she had, if she pre or post menopausal, and details of genetic analysis such as amount of folate, P2, P6, P12. In this example, the output variable would be if the patient had cancer or not, which represent as 0 for no, 1 for yes. This is simply how it works. But still there are tons of data between these factors. So, neural network to begin learning from these data, we first add input data at the input layer, then flow through the hidden layers to arrive output layer. The inputs move between layers. They are multiplied by random weight which can be assigned to each of the connections. The most important factor in converting input layer to output layer is activation functions. That in our program, an activation function, like sigmoid function, that define any output between 0 and 1. For the first time, the input data will arrive at the output layer has some new random value between 0 and 1, which almost incorrect. So, our question is, where the learning comes in. This is done by a process called backpropagation. This involves comparing the output that was just produced with the output it was meant to produce. This is still the training dataset, using difference between them to modify the new weights. Then, run the network over and over, each time adjust the weights and get closer to the right answer. But how does it know how to adjust the weight in the direction of getting a correct answer? It does by a process called gradient descent. It's a process that's used to move network toward the lowest possible error in its output. Gradient descent is the backbone of neural network, and it's the most used learning algorithm in machine learning. In order to carry out gradient descent, we first need a cost function. It provides a measure of how far the guessed output from the actual output. It's expressed as a difference between the predicted value and the actual value. We repeat this process again and again until the error is sufficiently small. At this point, training is complete, and now we can test the network with the 25% of data that reserved for testing. Finally, I want to thank you for watching. I hope it was clear and interesting.